Good morning and happy new day today. We're in the 10th night day of Yule until sunset tonight when it begins 11th night. And so the 10th night of Yule, which we're in the day, was welcoming in Suna and the new light and the new day. And I shared a little bit about that in my last video um, about the old traditions uh, of the Germanic peoples and the Norse traditions of Yuletide, how it was a tradition to stay up throughout the whole entire night to say goodbye to the old sun and the old moon, so Suna and Luna, and welcome in the new day, and holding vigils and spending time with family and friends to welcome in that new light and that new life. So welcome in the new life today, and happy new day, a new time. And we also had our full moon in Cancer last night, and we're still in that window period, and also in the power of the solstice window. That energy is still accessible to us, and so it's a potent time to work with creativity and um, look at some things, look at some intentions. Um, what does freedom mean, and how can we express that authentically and creatively, and who can we be creative with? And can we invite creativity in, because we can invite it all in, and it's just inviting the fields into our own field. So before I began this video, I was inviting in the fields of play and joy and authenticity and peace and clarity and like all those things that I'm drawn to, and I'm drawing them to me. So and letting go of my expectations of how they're supposed to be or how they're supposed to show up or how I'm supposed to be. And just allowing that presence and that fertility. And so it's a great time to review and release with the full moon, and also set new intentions for the new year and this new time and this new day and this new cycle of growth. And setting new intentions for 2021 and letting the rest go that don't align with that, or don't feel like they're aligned with where we want to go in that flow, in that new flow. So it's a potent time to just invite, call in, bless, praise, thank, and greet and meet the new day and the new energies at play, and what wants to be created and what wants to be expressed through our lives. And so it's a very potent, fertile time to go within and do some inquiry and meditate and contemplate and appreciate and acknowledge all that we have been able to grow, all that has fallen away, all that can be, all that has been, all that is now, all that will be. And so it's a good time to be grateful and to praise and bless and celebrate all of these things and all these possibilities and all the gifts that are here for us through all love's ways and all our ways of being, and appreciating that our unique differences and our similarities. We all, want the same basic things, and that's peace and belonging and inclusion and a livelihood and a place for ourselves to be and to thrive and to discover like who we are and enjoy life and be true to ourselves. And sometimes that can be a little bit confusing or tricky when we have a lot of noise. So inviting the silence into taking the time, making the space for silence and for surrendering and letting go. letting go of old beliefs, old myths, old stories, and things that we no longer need to carry. That's what I've been working with for the last little while, is what's mine, what's not mine, what's mine and what's yours, what's yours and what's mine, what's ours, you know. And so yeah, there's a few things that relate to that I'd love to share. I'm just going to go with the flow and with what I know, and allow what I don't know, and embrace the unknown, and yeah, thank the mystery. But I wanted to focus on gifts today, and what that gift really is, and um, yeah, all of these gifts that we are and that we be. All of these gifts for all of we are gifts, and love is free, so let's free the gift and let's be love for we. So there's a few gifts that I wanted to share that I received during Christmas time, and this time for celebrating and honoring and acknowledging all that we've been able to give, create, share, offer, receive, all we've been given, all we've been able to receive, all we've been able to work with, all we've been able to invite into our lives and nourish and attend to and care for. And so we get to care for ourselves, and we get to care for each other, we get to care for our relationships and our livelihood, our life, and honor that in our own ways. And I like that practice, and I like that play, and it feels right and true and good for me. And so that's what I choose for me. That's love I choose for me, and that's the gift that I get to give, offer, share, receive, and be. And so in and through all my ways of being me, of being this gift that God has given me, that love has given me, that life has given me to be. And so and I appreciate that gift, and I do honor that gift, and I do love that gift, and I choose to embody that gift and be that love for all of me, and share that love with all of we in through my own ways of giving, offering, sharing, receiving, and being this gift of the for me and we. So the art and creativity has just been so fun and so free and so full of possibility. And setting some intentions today for new art projects and possibilities, and just what wants to be birthed through me, and also like letting the old go to make space for that new creativity and that new life that wants to be born and wants to come through and be expressed, like through my creativity and through divine inspiration and charity, like service to the whole, and like enrichment and blessing others and myself, like humanity, all of our lives, like bringing that forth and through, and inviting that to come through, inviting that because it's already here, and then just showing up for it, and letting it unfold and taking it step by step. And that's like just a great metaphor for the art process, or for the just for the growth process, really, because a lot goes into like doing a painting, it just goes through different phases and stages, and its own cycles. And it's just kind of funny how like sometimes it does remind us that just to be patient and to enjoy the process and allow that process and be with it. And let it come through, let it unfold, and let it be expressed, and in its own organic and authentic ways. But this is the painting that one of my friends did for me. She painted for me, and I love it, and it's so cute, and it's just, the colors make me so happy, and just the symbol, the aloe plant, and all of that nourishment and soothing, like medicine. I've been drinking aloe a lot lately, like for my gut wellness and things. And I felt like I've needed a little support in that area, like especially the last month. And so, yeah, just been asking for that help and support and assistance, and sharing and offering and allowing myself and receiving it for me, what I need to take care of me and to honor my life and to love me and support me. And so there's the aloe. There's the aloe plant. Isn't that cute? This cute little leaves and the aura around it, the colors. It's just a happy little plant and a happy little pot. Yeah, happy energy of this painting makes me happy too. So thank you, Kenzie. And then another fun little thing that I got. It's just a fun little thing that made me laugh, and I just love, remembering a sense of humor and to lighten it up, to lighten the fuck up, because I mean, gosh, we get so serious sometimes, and that is like one of the things that can kind of hamper our ability to soar and to really be here, because we get bogged down in like, the mud sometimes, and that's all we can see is the muddiness and the dirty water and the distortions of that, So we get to remember to laugh at ourselves and to laugh at each other and to laugh at life. And that's like, one of the greatest gifts is humor, and just being able to laugh and lighten that up, and just remember, we're so funny and we're silly beings being silly. So be silly and embrace the fool and coyote and the monkey and all of that. Be a fool. So this is a farting animals coloring book that I got. How funny and great is that? Like, all kinds of animals just doing their thing and farting. So it's pretty great. I'm gonna probably color in that this week. And then one of my other gifts that I got that I was happy to receive, because it's so funny, and there's an inside joke about it too that me and my husband share. So we went to a little vacation a couple months ago in October, and on our way back we stopped at a gas station in Wendover and just went inside for a moment, have a bathroom break and stuff, and saw this on the way out, and it was just freaking hilarious. It's a gnome riding a unicorn. He's pointing up to the Imaginarium. There's little mushrooms here, and this little tree. So I thought it was so great, So we had a joke about how there's a gnome that lives in my butt. Just because, like, it was my, like, snarky comeback to something that I didn't like, and I was just like, oh yeah, it's real alright. Just like the gnome who lives in my butt. And it was just like, it wasn't even a planned thing. I didn't even know I was gonna say it. It was just like one of those just funny ass things. Yeah, the funny ass says, and the silly ass says, and so it was just like, like seeing it at the gas station, it was like, there he is, there's the gnome who lives in my butt. And so we didn't actually, we thought about it, like, we should get that, but then we were like, no, that's okay, like, but he actually found one online and he ordered it for me, and it, it came just the day after Christmas, and this is just great. Like, you can't even believe. Yeah, it was funny that he just decided, yep, we need that in our lives, and you need that. So I have it over here by my altar to remind me. But it's pretty great. And so I love the gift, of remembering, like, to lighten it up, and just, it's magical too. Like, seriously, like that unicorn and the little people. And just like how funny, these things can be and are, Just what we make of it though too. We'll have our own unique sense of humor and our own attitudes. So Whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat, whatever jingles your bells, that's for you, whatever floats your goat. So yeah, like that's kind of funny too, in a way, like where laughing at ourselves can help us with our rigidities, and that just, yeah, because the goat, whatever floats your goat. And the devil archetype is coming up in a lot of ways to challenge me and my rigidities. And I get to play that as well. I get to challenge other people's rigidities about who they think, yeah, I should be, or who they think they should be. And that's what's coming up for me. Like, where I had a lot of that work for me to do and to choose about, like, yeah, how life should be and what this should be like and what this should feel like, and yeah, how I should be, and to be me. But like, it's just like everything, and it's everything, all things and nothing. And so like just being in the moment and like just allowing it, and allowing me, and allowing life, and allowing love to be received. Yeah, that's been like the greatest lesson for me this year, and I'm still working with that, and working through some of that. But I did receive a lot of good things in the last couple days, like, which it's so amazing how potent things really are, and how much space has been made for so much to come through in such like a seems like a little amount of time, like where it's like just buckets and buckets and buckets of gold, like every single moment and every single day. And it's just like allowing the space for it to come through, and for it to be here, and to be received, and to be witnessed, and to be freed. So that's like, yeah, the gift that keeps giving, and that's amazing to me. And so yeah, let's celebrate those funny things, and that inner clown, and the inner dork, and the inner sassafras, and just lighten it up, Yeah. But that's one of my favorite things anyways, to play. And yeah, but I can get really serious, and that's what I realized a couple years ago was, yeah, like I was enjoying some plant medicines, and the mushrooms, like, yeah, they were sending me messages, and they were saying, why are you so serious? Why are you so serious? You're so serious. You're so serious. Why are you so serious? And it just made me laugh my ass off, because I realized, oh my gosh, I have had, like, because, yeah, I have been doing serious work, but it was like, man, I thought I had to be like so serious in order to concentrate and things, but I was really working against myself in certain ways where I put a lot of pressure on me. And the mushrooms helped me see that, like, and just laugh at myself, and just like, that's right, lighten up and play, because that's one of my strengths, is like to be that clown, and to allow myself my silliness, and to be funny. And even if no one else thinks I'm funny, I have a good old time, and I enjoy it. And yeah, I offer it to be received for those who are willing to receive it. And yeah, it's a good way, yeah, just to play, and to not be so damn serious, and to take things so damn seriously and so personally, because sometimes we need to get over ourselves. We get to get over ourselves to get through to ourselves. Yeah. So lighten up and play. And so with that said, we'll see where this goes, and we'll just play with it. I just wanted to share like one more gift that I appreciated, that a friend had offered. I had a winter solstice circle at my home on the 20th, and that was Mother's Night, and that was such a beautiful night to gather and to celebrate and to share and to thank and to appreciate all the love that we are, all the beauty that we are, and have to give, receive, share, and be with each other and for each other, and through being our own love and our own gifts, and then, yeah, bringing that forth to share, like, those authentic, true self-love gifts, the gifts that we are. And so I have a friend who wraps jewelry, or wraps stones, and she brought a big pile like to offer the group, and I saw this one and I just was drawn by the color. I loved it. I thought it was so pretty. It was like polished glass, almost like a sea glass. And so yeah, I appreciate like her creative gifts that she offers and shares. So thank you, Susan. And she also wrapped this one especially for me, which is a little amethyst. And I like how she wrapped it. Yeah. It's a cute little stone. And I also received an amethyst ring from my mom and an amethyst necklace. Two of those necklaces, which I passed on to my Aunt Shelley, because, yeah, she totally likes those things. And so amethyst keeps coming up for me, like that purple stone. For clarity and, for the higher mind, and, yeah, all those qualities and the high vibrations that it holds, and, like, and the color purple, And I've had like purple hair for the longest time, and it's kind of funny. I'm letting it kind of fade to a pink right now. But yeah, there's going to be a big change in a few weeks, and I'm excited for. And so it's just going to be a surprise, I think. But yeah, just appreciating like all these little gifts that are really awesome, beautiful, funny, from the heart, and yeah. And it's all about the farts too. Gotta remember that there's a cosmic joke there somewhere. Because we remember just how silly we are sometimes when we just let out a big old fart, and we're just like, yep, that's what makes us human. And embracing that and allowing that, because sometimes we get so puffed up in our egos, and we put ourselves on the pedestal, or our ideals and our ideas and our beliefs on a pedestal, and we walk around like our shit doesn't stink sometimes, or it smells like roses, and that's okay too, because we don't need to judge shit for being shit either, and just get to recognize the value in it, and that we don't need to play in it, and we don't need to fling it around. It's up to us to decide what we get to do with it, or if we get to leave it. Leave it as it is. And so, my last video I ended with, I'm going to choose to build a garden. And I'm going to nourish that garden. And I'll fertilize that garden. And I'll attend to that garden. And I'll ask for help. I'll call in the elements to help me with those conditions. And I'll play my part. But I also will call in and call on help that is available and accessible if we have faith, and we believe that we are able, and we can practice and play with that, and know and realize that we are powerful, and if we're willing to be accountable for our power and our own bullshit, there's nothing that can stop us from creating anything that we want, anything that we want to dream, call in, anything that we want to be, anything that we want to manifest, just dream it into being. And so that's pretty magical and awesome and happy. And so I'll invite that, and I praise that, and I bless that, and I celebrate that. Thank all of that. And so here's to all of that. And I wanted to share a little bit about what I've been working with, and my stories and things that I've realized, that I'm ready to let go of, and just working with them, first acknowledging there's certain archetypal stories from our shadow that emerge and come up, and keep us in little loops, and keep us in scripts or descriptions of what we think we know, or of who we think we are, or how we see things. And those can be clues. Those can be great clues to show us the actual truth, even though it's in certain ways it's being presented as a lie, there always is like the truth hidden within it for us to see if we are willing to open our eyes, you know. And that is just, yeah, kind of reminds me of something that happened for me a couple of days ago, which maybe it was Christmas or the day after Christmas. My aunt had sent me a meme just because it was like, yeah, just Christmas themed. And yeah, I've been looking at things like and taking them as they are and just like pausing, observing, and witnessing in certain ways. And it's really interesting to see like certain reactions or certain stories activated, or like survival strategies or old patterns like that want to be energized or charged with some kind of emotional, yeah, energy, um, yeah, or hijack that emotion, or hijack us or exploit us through that emotion and through the story that it activates or the identity that's attached to it, if that makes sense in certain ways. But I will offer some more clarity in a bit about that. But there is this meme that it was Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus, and he's coming in the door after a long night of delivering gifts and toys, and she says, "Wow, you look exhausted." And he was like, "Oh my goodness, I spent half the night running back to the sleigh because I forgot my mask." And it was like one of those memes like that kind of like, yeah, can activate or trigger, like, or just we can laugh it off and just go, "That silly Santa, he forgot his mask." But really, it was like watching my watching my stories that came up around that too. It was just like, okay, someone sent me a funny meme, but it wasn't really funny to me, and I was just like, okay. And part of me was like, well, how do I respond to this? Or how do I really feel about this? Or what is this showing me? Or what do I get to get from this? Or do I is it something I just ignore? Like, oh, but since there was a little bit of a charge there, it kind of annoyed me. Like, it kind of made me roll my eyes, because it was just like, that's so much wasted energy. Like, no wonder, like, we're exhausted sometimes. Like, where we think we have to do something to give something. And like we have to follow this one way that like is acceptable, and I was just kind of like, how do I feel about this, and what's this meme like showing me? And yeah, because yeah, I didn't need to like agree to it or like give it any energy or any attention, but like it was a gift for me. And so I was like, okay, like, yeah, I think there's something in this for me that I get to see. And so it just took a moment and was like, oh, part of me feels like I should just laugh about it, but it's not funny to me, so that's not authentic. And I was like, what's the truth about this? And then I like saw it. I saw the truth of it because I asked to see it. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect representation of the shadow caregiver right here. And so I responded like within a minute, and I just said, oh, that's the shadow caregiver. When we forget that life is forgiving, being, sharing, offering, receiving, and enjoying. And the spirit of true giving doesn't deplete or diminish us. It restores and nourishes us through regeneration and rest, surrendering all that is not ours to carry or burden our souls with. And so, yeah, that's what the truth of it was like for me. Like, why do we need to sacrifice ourselves and our energy to be pleasing, or to be able to give in a certain way, or to meet certain expectations that aren't ours anyway? Like, and why do we agree to those things? Because, you know, that's like the martyr, and also is connected to the miser and the caregiver too. So that's like a kind of an interesting little triangle, like that kind of puts us in a bind sometimes, like where we feel like something has to be given in a certain way, or like we have to sacrifice ourselves to be able to give in certain ways. And that's just not true, you know? And so I encourage you to do or choose your own looking into those kinds of things about how we show up and how we give to each other and what we feel like we need to do, and if that depletes or diminishes us, or if it nourishes us and restores us. And I'm not saying that we don't put hard work into the gifts that we give. Yeah, because we do. We put effort into it, and we do put our own energy into it and our blood, sweat, and tears sometimes. But like, if it is true giving, the true spirit of giving, it really gives back in so many ways than it takes away. And so, yeah, that's what I got from that. That's my takeaway from that story. And realizing that it was like, I was wondering too, how should I respond to this? Like, what's this person? I mean, like my aunt, of course, like she would have accepted anything from me, but it was like an old program that was like, how do they want me to respond to this? Like, should I just do an LOL? Because sometimes that would be easier to pretend and just like brush the rest off, but it would still like, there was something about it that annoyed me and didn't feel right to me. But I was realizing that we can actually ask to see the truth within that lie, within these lies that we do recognize, like in certain ways, and that can help clarify, and it can help unify, and it can help us like forgiving, and release it, and say and remember like what's really true, and it's just like, oh, thanks for that, and then actually like really feeling gratitude that that was given and that was shared with me, because that helped me see my own truth that I needed to see for me. And so that's like totally relates to what I've been working with the caregiver, and stepping out of that role of caregiving, even though I love it, and um, I love giving, I love caring, I love showing up for people, I love helping. Um, but like that was what was asked of me this year, was to step out of that, because there was some things that I wasn't seeing clearly about how it was diminishing and depleting me, and it was keeping me from my own work and my own intimacy, that I really needed, wanted, um, and wanted to develop and cultivate for me, and through my relationships that I'm meant to um, grow in and through right now. And so, yeah, it was hard to step out of being that caregiver, because there is a lot of payoffs. Like, obviously, it feels good to give and to share and to care. And, but there is certain things about it that that I didn't realize were not working for me anymore in certain ways, because it wasn't honoring my energy and what I really needed for me, and the care that I needed for me, the care that I got to make space for her to receive for me and offer and give to me. And there was some old beliefs that were blocking me, like, or that, kind of kept me in that, even though I knew, like, in certain ways, like, yeah, I do have time for me. Like, what is this story about? Like, and it had to do with the too much, not enough stories, and like how those scripts were playing and keeping me in a loop. And I saw that in a lot of my dreams that came up, and the frustrations that I was having, and I didn't even know why. Like, I was feeling frustrated and things, like in certain ways, until I asked to see why. And yeah, like, what's this really about? Like, instead of going into the story of blame and shame and not enoughness and pain and all of that, you know, seeing beyond the story and the myth and the lies, and seeing through it, and seeing the truth that was hidden within it and was being revealed, for healing and coming up to be seen, to help me grow and change. But getting free of old patterns sometimes, requires detachment and observation and a willingness to see what we haven't seen, and that, sometimes can feel very uncomfortable, and it just kind of happens and unfolds in our own time sometimes, and little by little and layer by layer, and we get to unravel and unwind, like, from those binds of the mind, or the poisoned mind. So yeah, that's what I got to receive and um, offer and be willing to receive. Yeah. So it's been potent. Yeah, it's been really potent for me. And so stepping out of that caregiver role and the need to fix things and the need to smooth things over or the need to be the rescuer or the pleaser. Um, yeah, I've looked at all of those things and it's been, yeah, a little challenging for me, but it's exactly what I needed for me in certain ways, like to really make the space to see um, what there wasn't room to see before. And yeah, I'm just grateful for the process. But yeah, I have had different dreams that have come up, and they've been kind of funny, like to show me certain things, and it's just so funny how the psyche plays with us and plays through different things in different ways. And it's just so freaking magical, really. Like all of these ways, through all these ways, if we're paying attention or we're willing to be receptive and look and see what's being offered and given and shared and available for us to receive. And so sometimes it doesn't really look like something we want to receive, just like that little meme as an example. Like, man, that's just sad that people think that that's what we need to do right now. But like, also like acknowledging like how I was like, yeah, what's my response supposed to be? I'm like, well, how do I really feel about this? And then I know, like, yeah, that it, yeah, like the masks thing means a lot of different things to me on a lot of different levels in a lot of different ways. And it's just like symbolic of the masks that we've learned to wear to protect ourselves or to play a role for someone else or to get trick ourselves or to convince ourselves that yeah, this is what we need to do to be generous or to be a giver and to care, to show our care and to be virtuous and whatnot. Because we do, like, we love our virtues and we love our ideas and our ideals and our beliefs and our what we think we know and like yeah, just get comfortable with that and it feels right for us sometimes until it doesn't, you know. And so we all get to realize that in our own ways and decide if we want to keep wearing certain masks and if they serve us truly, or if they have an ego agenda attached to them, or if, yeah, we've been totally unconscious of even wearing them, or the choices that we do have and um, the gifts, yeah, of that choice to make for ourselves. Yeah. And so, yeah, like making that choice for ourselves. And so, what we think, what we feel, what we know is right for us, and not being dictated by an outer, yeah, source, drawing on the inner source to understand, realize, recognize, like what's serving us, what's nourishing us, what's giving for us, forgiving, what is depleting us, what is diminishing us, what does not serve us. Yeah, looking at all those things. And sometimes, yeah, that takes detachment and surrender and suspension of the hanged man. And that medicine can help us with that too. And just being the observer and asking for clarity, calling in clarity, which, yeah, there's a chant that I had written down on a card that popped up today, and it's Om Vajra Sattva Hung, and that's calling on the clarity of the mind, and Vajra Sattva, who is the deity in Tibetan Buddhism, who's like the thunderbolt of the mind. So there's this little meditation in my Healing Mantras book by Thomas Ashley Farrand, which I really like. And I did this chant as a discipline a couple years ago for clarity and to help invoke the thunderbolt of my mind. It says, I invoke the thunderbolt of my mind, invoking Vajrasattva, the being who protects and purifies the sincere seeker. So if there's something, that we're willing to see and that, we're asking to see and calling on Vajrasattva to help us with that clarity. And we imagine a bright bluish light. Um, this is a positive thought form to produce mental clarity. Tibetan Buddhists meditate on a small white meditative figure above the head, sending a beam of white bluish light into the top of your head. So you can chant that or sing that Om Vajrasattva Hum with the little imagery of a little meditative figure above the head with beaming white bluish light into the head, into the top of the head. And I found that that's very like calming, soothing, and it does help remove negative thought forms and foul mental patterns and old stories and garbage that we don't need, that's not even ours. Like a lot of the time it's not even ours, it's just is absorbed into our energy field. And so that can help us dissolve and neutralize those negative destructive thought forms. So super helpful. Like there's all these tools like to work with. There's no wrong rule. Like seriously, just ask and ye shall receive, and just follow your heart and follow like what you're drawn to, like as far as that goes, like for clarity, for helping and inviting clarity in, and then like being willing to receive it, and then allowing like the intuition to help us perceive that, or to be led to what we need. And so that's awesome gift to receive and to acknowledge and honor our own intuition and our own inner knowing, and our feelings, and what we appreciate, and what just makes us feel curious about things, and like what feels right for us. Because we're all different, and we're all have different experiences and different like energies that we get to work and play with, and there's no one right way. And so just a good reminder there. And what else can I share about the shadow caregiver and the not enough too much stories? The myths and the stories and the lies and the descriptions, the scripts that we're playing in or playing from, operating from, like in a lot of ways we're not unconscious of, because it's like second nature. Like we've been so conditioned and programmed, and we learn to adapt and survive and use different strategies that sometimes we don't even realize that we're falling into them or that they're activated. And so myths, lies, and stories. So there's a lot of stories that we tell ourselves, and the stories usually have to do with like some of these identities that we consciously or unconsciously project. And it's really interesting. So first we get to become aware of the stories that we're telling ourselves, and or like these stories in our heads, like that tell us what things are about, or who we are and what we're about. But it's helpful to understand like and see into those stories and where they come from, and what what archetypes behind them in certain ways, and just start to play with it that way, and acknowledge and invite them to play, so that they can show us like different things. They can become our allies instead of like our enemies, and part of our resources that we get to direct and create with. So that's the gift. Or like our energy can be hijacked by them, or through playing into the shadow aspects of them, and we just get to realize that in and through our own ways. But it's good to be aware of like what identities we're projecting or pretending or playing or being carried away by. And it's just really interesting to me, really fascinating to me. I've gotten so much out of looking at my stories and my ways, and like these characters that come into play in my life, and it's been really rich and rewarding to be able to see like some of these patterns at play, like through these characters and stories. And so I would like to share a dream that I had the other day that helped me see like a lot helped me see so much. I worked with it for a couple hours yesterday, and then I was like, oh, I just got some insightful revelations about, some of these things that relate. And so the funny thing was I have this little board of an invocation. I had it by my Christmas tree for my winter solstice circle, and I've shared it a couple times before because it's so beautiful and I love it and it resonates. And it's by Lee J. McCloskey, and he's a visionary artist, and I love his work, and wow, just who he is and what he has to share, and the gifts that he holds for humanity, that he expresses and shares through his own creativity and his own divine wisdom, and just his being here, and just like what he's been able to offer and create and allow to be expressed through him and through his work. Like, it just amazes me and it blows my mind. Like, and to me, he's like the archetype of the teacher and the wise old man too. Like, but also like a father figure, it seems like. And almost like as well, like I can see like how I have an attraction to that because of the wisdom and the truth, and like my own ideals and my own journey, and the resonance that like his words and his art have like within me. Like, it activates and it stirs something within me, and that's why I appreciate him so much. And it's just like just the way that through his being, just like, wow, I just super appreciate like and admire like those certain qualities and things. But it was just so funny that I was going to share that the other day about like our stories, like this little poem invocation that he wrote, and then I ended up having a dream with him in it. And it showed me a lot of different things, and it was quite funny. It was like the cosmic monkey at play there, and also to show me how I had been fooling myself, and to show me like the truth hidden within certain lies, and all of that. So I'll read this invocation because it's beautiful, and it's like, what can we invite, and are we willing to be that worthy like part, like that worthy soul, that worthy being that's worthy of this gift of life. And because we always have been worthy, and we're worthy of this love and this life because that's who we are. And so believe it and be willing to receive it, because love is who we are. To the ancestors and ancients, to the family tree, to all who have gone before and are to come, to our sacred Gaia, our dear Mother Earth, and her generous heart, we send our love, our gratitude, our forgiveness of one another and of ourselves. We express here and now our willingness to be finally worthy of this great gift and responsibility of being the human form divine. Let us share from across the ages our most loving and creative stories of being human simply because we can. Lee J. McCloskey. Let us share from across the ages our most loving and creative stories of being simply because we can. We're able to. Let's claim this gift. We express here and now our willingness to be finally worthy of this great gift and responsibility of being the human form divine. So taking that responsibility, owning that power, owning that bullshit, owning our accountability. And so that's what we get to do, if we so choose. Like, and it takes courage and grace and strength and trust and faith. Like, just a willingness, just to be willing, to open, to be willing. And that's like one of my mantras: I am willing, I am willing. I am willing. And don't put any pressure on me. Like, I don't need to like figure out how I'm going to do it. I just like put it out there. I'm willing. And the universe will help me learn this. And my love will, and her love and his love, and thy love will help me like receive this and work with this and play with this and let it be, like, be manifested and be embodied and be freed. So yeah, that's what I get to choose for me. Open-hearted willingness, and like that humility and that faith, um, knowing that we all belong and that we're all a part of the same thing. And so, um, which also reminds me that, yeah, tonight, from sunset to sunset, the 11th night of Yule, the virtue is accountability and self-reliance. And so, yeah, maybe I'll share a little bit more about that. But first, I wanted to share like some of this dream and some of the streams and the themes and what I received for me about like all of these things that relate, that are related, because we're all related. All things relate. And so sometimes it's harder in certain ways to see how they do relate because we haven't seen certain patterns, but like working with the archetypes and with stories, we can see certain patterns and rhythms and how things are, how we are. But so 12/29, I had this dream. So it was in a large, never-ending, it seems, wraparound house. So it was like a wraparound house that had so many levels and so many different floors and so many sections that it seemed to like loop in around on itself. So it was like kind of like a labyrinth or a maze of some kind. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. Like I always like have the most elaborate houses sometimes in my dreams. Like when they're like this, it's just a crazy exploration, of my psyche that I get to explore and stuff. So it's pretty awesome. I love that metaphor of the home too, and that was our full moons in Cancer, and that all centers around the home and what the home means to us and all of that. And it just reminds me of in my father's house there are many mansions, and so we're infinite that way. But so we're in this really amazing wraparound house. It's a labyrinth style, some kind of themes of illusion, confusion, distractions, desires, fears, impulses, fun, joy, admiration, excitement, agendas, tasks, changes, details, awareness, getting focused, centered, grounded, paying attention to details, and presencing, relaxing, playing, serving, creating, engaging, using energy wisely. So look at attractions. Curiosity. Maybe these are about fear and desire cycle themes and liberation through adventurous play and creativity. Joy and pleasure. Hide and seek games. Playing hide and seek. So in this dream, I'm enamored with Lee J. McCloskey, LOL. He's sexy and attractive to me because he's amazing, kind, brilliant, and wise, talented, gifted, and strong. He's a golden kind of hero, a wise man, a teacher, the Hierophant, a visionary artist, magical child, and radiant, virile, and exciting. So, I'm doing tasks around this house, and there's all sorts of family lines and lots of extensions, lots of personalities. And in this dream, I was just helping out, like doing some things, taking on that caregiver role because in the dream, his wife needed some rest and recovery because of a leg injury that she had. And that was interesting because it had its own symbolism. But I won't go into like everything, but just like little bits and pieces and nuggets that I got from it. And there's two grandchildren that are asking for ice cream treats. So we need to go to this part of the house where there's a freezer that has the treats inside of it. And so exploring and adventuring through this house that has many layers and levels, and looking for these treats, but enjoying the time together with these two young girls that are very cute and like excited and happy and joyful and playful and innocent, and just enjoying life in the moment. We do have like a goal in mind, like where we're gonna go get the treats, but it's like that's not like our main like priority. It's just like having fun on our journey, like as we explore and all that. So it's kind of funny, but I wrote a little bit more about like some of those things. So the story or the center theme around this dream is a wraparound house, labyrinth type maze that almost seems to loop in on itself. There are so many rooms, sections, groups, or groupings, different residents and family connections, and different family home units within this huge, like, seemed like infinite home. And it's Lee J. McCloskey's home that he shares with his extended kin, community relations, and his immediate family. I'm doing tasks and assisting with caregiving, and so I've taken on this role, and there seems to be an attraction towards Lee. I'm not sure if he really feels the same, but I'm hoping so, because I'm mesmerized and very attracted to him and his gifts, or to his idealized image. And so anyway, I'm desiring time with him, and maybe his affection, attention, and approval as well. Maybe I want his appreciation, acknowledgement, and an intimate connection. Maybe these are my expectations and agendas, because, you know, it feels good, and it's mutual admiration and appreciation. But it may be seeking of external validation for a father or a mother figure to see me as enough. And so projecting that onto someone else outside of me that's attractive or that I admire, because I really want them to see me as enough so I can be seen through their eyes, or I can see myself through those eyes that show me as that I am worthy. And so that was really interesting for me to see, like, those things. And it helped me to see where some of my residual resentments were with my elders and some of my old teachers, and like, yeah, people who I've considered mentors and whatnot. Yeah, that was exactly what I needed to see for me. And so I was so great. Like, this dream was a gift for me to be able to see that, instead of like feeling like, oh man, that's embarrassing to to be, yeah, and having these desires about someone that I don't even know in real life, but I have, like, oh my gosh, like, I had been friends with him on Facebook, and I don't even know how that came about, like, a couple years ago. Like, it was just like really cool that I didn't know who he was at the time either. And then soon after, I heard on like a podcast by Shannon Port, she was reading an excerpt from his Tarot Revisioned book, and I was like, oh, that's who that is. And I went to his page, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, and it was like just divine, yeah, synchronicity or serendipity or of some kind. But it's just like, he has played a great influence in my life because of the art and his work that he shared. But like, isn't that cool that we can show up, share our gifts, express them, and that like they give to so many and unseen ways, like in so many. I mean, sometimes, yeah, those we see like how they're given and how they're received, but sometimes we don't even know, like, yeah, the impact or the enrichment that our gift that we share has on so many lives. And that's the greatest part of it. Yeah, sharing our gifts that we have to give, and that we have to be, and that we get to express, and that we get to allow to bring forth and through, like, our being, our ways of being. So it was pretty great. Like, and yeah, so I won't really go into more than that. Like, it was like an extensive thing, and I worked with it a lot, like, because there were so many things in it, like, that were showing me like the truth about things. And because I was willing to see them, was willing to see it, and see what I needed to see for me. And so I realized that a lot of like things, yeah, have had to do with the not enough, too much stories. And yeah, that was really profound for me to see that, yeah, I wanted that mother, archetypal mother or father figure to desire, or to acknowledge, or to approve, or to validate, or accept me so I could see my own worth. But that was never going to be enough for me, because I needed to see my own worth through my own eyes, not through someone else's eyes. And yeah, that's why it could never be enough, and I could never be enough. But I get to see my own worth through my own eyes, and like realize, yeah, self-realization. And so that was a beautiful, freaking amazing gift of clarity for me. And there is so much more to it, like that, it helped me see in so many ways. But yeah, that was just like a gift that I wanted to share about that dream and about those kind of little winks. And oh, this is great. And I'll have to do with like different stories that we have and like different perceptions and beliefs. So old beliefs that we can no longer need to carry because they're not true for us anymore. Like we know it's really true. We are enough, and we always have been enough, and love is enough, and life is enough. I am enough, you are enough, we are enough. Yeah. And if we choose to tell those stories, like what could we create with that and through that? Yeah. Through honoring our real and true, authentic stories. Yeah. That we have to tell, share, offer, give, be, and play in. Yeah. In and through. And so, yeah, happy 11th night tonight. Yeah, about self-reliance and accountability. And sacred to the Valkyries and the warriors and all of that tonight with those Norse traditions of Yule, of Yuletide. So December 30th, sacred to the Valkyries and warriors. Angels and the corpse goddess and the carrion-eating raven, the goddesses who ride winged horses, the choosers of the slain, who fly over the battlefields to pick the best warriors. And Valfreya is mistress of the slain Valkyries, chosen warriors of Odin's foster daughters. And the virtue is self-reliance and accountability, claiming our own power and sovereignty. We rely on ourselves for our own morality, the answers that we need, our own inner compass through our own choices and our own creative energy, honoring our own energy. And so I thought that was pretty awesome too, to see that. So that's tonight from sunset to sunset, the 11th night of Yule. And then 12th night is December 31st. That's New Year's Eve. And that's a beautiful night to praise, to toast, to celebrate, to thank, to bless all of the people, all of the gifts, all that we are, all that have enriched and been a part of our lives, that have been players and played in and through our lives, and to thank them and like to honor that, like the parts that they played for us and with us, and like in relationship with us, and to help us see and remember who we really are. So yeah, what a great gift and what a great shift. But yeah, I'll probably do another video on 12th night because it's so loaded and so cool, so many things, and I love the traditions of it. And yeah, how would life be if that's how we spent our New Year's Eve, like having that like real fun and generosity and joy and hospitality and appreciation and acknowledgement together of those real gifts, that we do and then we are for each other. We just are. And also I'd like to share about the 9 noble virtues because those were, my jam. And I got so much from that, like from focusing on those. And so, yeah, that's my humble offering and my gift for me and we today. And I love you all. And I thank you for being a part of my life and a light in my life. And for all the parts that you've played and that we've played together. So thank you. Love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be love for yourselves. Farewell for now. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.